Hi my friends, thanks for being here today. We are going to be doing a full face of makeup and it's going to be just some random new things. We've got some drugstore and high-end in this video and I just wanted to do something kind of casual and just, you know, sitting down doing my makeup today because I'm a little bit stressed, but I'm very grateful too at the same time. It's like something that I hope was going to come to pass actually is, but now that it is, I'm a little bit scared. My dad, who has been through some health stuff lately. He's been through some huge health hurdles in the past year or so, but most recently he was in the hospital and they were detecting a really slow heart rate. He's always had a slower heart rate most of his life, but like it was having some dips that were concerning. And while a pacemaker was mentioned then as being helpful, they didn't like jump into that immediately. They said that they would send him home with a heart monitor and he'd wear that for 2 weeks and then they'd make the determination from there. Well, it takes some days for the heart monitor to come in. It's sent directly to his house and he'd been wearing it for a couple of days, and then Sunday afternoon his cardiologist calls him, which props to the cardiologist for keeping an eye on things on a Sunday afternoon. They're able to know, you know, what's going on the home monitor, and they said, we think we should move forward with this quicker and come in tonight and we'll do the procedure on Monday. So here I sit on Monday morning and Dad's going to get the pacemaker and I feel like it's going to be a very good thing for him. It had been mentioned actually after his triple bypass, and another time it's like, you know, this might be beneficial for you. It's just never come to pass, and like now it finally is, and yeah, you're just a little nervous, anything involving the heart. Like I just want everything to go well. I just want everybody to know what they're doing and just like do a great job for my dad, and I'm sure they will, but you know, you just got a lot on my mind today, okay? So I need this diversion right now. So I have this from Wet n Wild. This is the Prime Focus Primer Serum. It says it's going to refine pores. It has lavender in it. You can definitely smell a little bit of lavender, bakuchiol, and dragon fruit. I'm not sure what the benefits of all those things are, but this is supposed to soften the appearance of skin as it preps and primes. And I've been playing with this and it's really something I can't tell an immediate impact from, you know, in terms of like, oh my gosh, that just blurred the pores. It just feels like a serum going on, okay? And it smells a little bit like lavender. That's nice. I need calming. Calm me down. But you get it all in, and frankly, I mean, the skin looks just about the same as when you started, but I guess the ingredients in this are supposed to be doing something good for your pores. So I'm going to continue using this on and off and see what I get out of it. I have been using it for a bit, but I'm just kind of like, I'm not really sure that it's doing a whole lot. I am really liking the Cookies and Dreams primer from e.l.f. They kind of redid their putty primer and made it really creamy and soft, and that's awesome. And also the Aldi poreless primer is really good. Okay, I'm very excited to test this out, my friends. One size has a turn up the base. They're calling it BBB cream, Beauty Blur Balm. It says all tint, all shade. Be the ultimate blur boss with buttery, bouncy, smooth skin. Texture be gone. And they just say apply to clean, primed, or moisturized skin. So this is like a chunky little tube here, and when you turn it, the opening is on one side. No big deal, it's just kind of a different feel. I'm going to get a dollop out here. Maybe that's going to be way too much. I don't know. This is my actual first time using this. Yeah, I probably won't use all that. The opening in that squeeze tube is actually really big, so a lot comes out. Gotta watch it. Okay, so this feels kind of moussey. Not like in a light, fluffy way, but the texture seems a little bit thick, you know? I used half of what was on my finger. Yay for restraint on the first go-round. It does seem kind of blurring. I mean, the coverage is really good, it seems like. Let's keep blending. Did I say what shade I got in this? Light 3N. Initial reaction is that yes, I feel very blurred. Like I feel like I glance at my skin and it kind of mattified, but yet I don't look too flat, you know? But there was a thickness in this product that I think is playing into the blurring idea, you know, that kind of moussey texture. I'm curious as to how this is going to wear on my skin all day, how well it will last, but as it stands now, I'm actually really liking this. To me, it's kind of interesting that it's even in the BB category. It seems so foundation-y. Here's what it reminds me a lot of, the one from the Tarte Sugar Rush line. That one might be even more like whipped if I were to describe the texture of it, but they're close, they're similar, and they come away with kind of a similar look all over the skin. They both seem really a lot like foundations, but they put themselves in either the BB or what did they actually call that? The Tarte one actually calls itself Poreless Tinted Moisturizer, and they're very foundation-y products, but they're on for sure the fuller coverage end of any kind of BB or CC cream that I've tried. Okay, I've had a couple of new concealers. Well, gosh, like 3 nude concealers. One is the KVD Lightweight Full Coverage Concealer in Light 109. This one has had really good coverage. It's thin. It's thinner than a Shape Tape, but still covers well. The shade ends up being really brightening on me. I've had a pretty good experience with it. There's been a time or two when I've paired it with something I think that was much more lightweight all over my skin, and I felt like I was seeing this remaining, like maybe, like if you ever had that experience where your concealer is more full coverage than your coverage product, and then as the day wears on you can just like see it more around the eyes. I could see the texture of it more around the eyes and nose, which I really didn't expect. It was only in the places where I applied this that I could see something, and it was like the rest of the skin looked a little more worn away. I don't know. Gosh, as I glance at my face in the viewfinder, like especially from this distance, I'm like, wow, that does look really nice and blurred. It's just because you're out of focus, Em. No, seriously. But this has been okay for me, but not a situation where I feel like, oh my gosh, I would abandon e.l.f. Camo Concealer for this because it's so much better. I'm kind of like, eh. The LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer, LP4 is my shade here. My complaint is that I don't feel like it's really full coverage. I think it's lacking a little bit. I think the texture is nice and really easy to work with, and makes my skin feel good and isn't too dry and cakey. Compared to all the really full coverage stuff that's out there concealer-wise, I don't feel like it's full coverage. And then I got this Boing from Benefit, the Bright On Concealer. You know how they have their regular concealer that's in this kind of packaging, only it's a little thicker and squattier. And they made this longer tube, and this is a brightening concealer. And this shade is called Lychee. And this reminds me so much of the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind and Brightener. It has kind of that pinky tone. This has been good. I've played with this and this alone with no other concealer thrown in, and it's actually been pretty good. Not maybe as full coverage as I would like, but it's okay. I think I'm going to use the KVD one today and just see how it pairs with this particular foundation product. What I do know is that from one size, their Butter Silk Concealer is amazing, and I'm sure that would do good in this situation, but that is not a new one for me, so I'm just going to get it a little bit around the nose. I'm saying that one size stuff was on the cusp of full coverage, actually. Okay, I'm going to use a slightly smaller brush here, and I'm just going to pat it in and make sure I really get it blended. Just because it's thin and light, it doesn't mean it doesn't need as much good blending. And maybe on a day when I noticed some heaviness later in the day, maybe that was a result of me not actually taking the time to work it in enough, you know? But it hasn't been like that every time I've used it. It was just kind of a couple random observations. See how brightening that is? Like that shade's just a little on the light side for me. And it's really, really super brightening. Feels full coverage too. If my eyes are puffy today, it's because of how I bawled during 1883 last night. The finale. Good Lord. I'm not even gonna say anything. If you've been keeping up with the show and you just haven't seen that one yet, you probably already know what's coming, but man, it was not just a few tears, guys. It was streaming down. That show, I am so impressed by Tim and Faith's acting. Like, I've seen Tim McGraw in things before. I've never seen Faith Hill do anything, I don't think, acting-wise, but they're amazing. They really slayed it. Of course, Sam Elliott, too, and the girl who plays Tim and Faith's daughter. I can't think of her name offhand. She's amazing. Okay, so that's all blended in. So you see the vibe here? It's very full coverage for sure. It has no real luminosity to it. It's mattifying, but it's thin and it's full coverage. If you're a die-hard e.l.f. camo concealer lover, especially the original version, do you need to leave that behind in favor of this? I say no. But this is another nice full coverage concealer to add to the mix. Now I'm going to set that with my LYS Triple Fix Translucent Setting Powder. I have had this for a little while. But it was just out here and easy to grab for. And I'm just going to press that into my under eye area a light bit, just like one dab on the brush. Also, what we have to catch up on is American Idol. We recorded that. That started last night, and American Idol is my favorite of the reality talent shows. I go way back on that. Like, I remember watching Kelly Clarkson and Justin Guarini. So T-zone, you know, I didn't need a lot. I feel like the vibe of the skin is overall matte with just a little hint of something, a little hint of sheen. Now you know I'm wanting to take my NYX No Filter and add some of this to the ballgame because I love this all over. This is so pretty. You feel like your skin is all set. I think it helps my makeup last better, but it doesn't like take away any little bit of glow that your foundation's giving you. I just use it all over the skin. This is in the shade Porcelain. And if you're not familiar, it's kind of like a baked powder format, and I found it at Target. I'm going to do some bronzer, and I have from Persona here their bronze multi-stick. Yeah, I'm just little by little digging deeper into the Persona brand. I love so many things that they make. I did try the highlight stick as well, which I was not as big of a fan of, the gold highlight multi-stick. It's more like transparent. Like if you like that transparent kind of just glossy gleam on the skin, you might like it. Like it kind of reminds me of something I tried recently from Westman Atelier. Just more of a dewy stick, okay? If that's what you're after, that's what that is. But I have this Sahara Bronze Multi-Stick, and we're gonna pop this on. And I'm obviously going to be thinking about how this compares to the M Cosmetics So Soft sticks. Using my Sephora 56, and it's a little stiffer than the M Cosmetics. The tone isn't bad, and the pigment is really nice. There's just something so buttery and special about those M Cosmetics ones. And the fact that they get away with being as soft as they are without really changing the overall texture of your face once it's blended in. That's a special element there, right? It's nice. I'm not struggling to blend it, my friends. It's just if I'm really looking critically and I'm thinking this or that, I'm still saying M Cosmetics So Soft. But this is definitely on the better end of cream stick products. Like, this is a good texture. They could put out some blushes in this texture and they'd be doing well also. Like, so nice subtle bronziness, nothing too loud and crazy. And I want to let you know, I don't know that I'm going to use this today because I have something else that I really want to pair with this shirt, but they have a new blush, and I actually got sent it in PR. I'm so excited. Persona has a new super blush, their powder blush formula, in a shade called Bubble. Super cool, bright pink. It's a really pretty shade. It's like instant life to the cheeks. I just want to let you know that's out there. This is my Emily mug, by the way. I think of Erica every time I take a sip. But some of you said in a past video that you would highly recommend the Tower 28 cream blushes. So I got one of these. It's like a lip and cheek. It's called Beach Please, and it's the shade Power Hour. And I love this shade. Love it. It's kind of dusty. I think this would look gorgeous in the summer with a tan, but it's great now too. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a different Sephora 56, just kind of dip right in, and like this toasty rosiness. Toasted rose. That's my description of it. It's so pretty. Like, I love that tone. There were so many colors that I could have gone for as I looked at the lineup of them all. I probably could have just closed my eyes and went for anything, but I just thought this looks so pretty. And here's the thing, it actually looks great on the lips as well. A lot of lip cheek formulas just, they don't do well on one or the other, but this does both really nicely. So as you can see, I'm just kind of doing a pressing motion, dabbing that in on the cheek. And it's so effortless too. Like when you see this go on the lips, I'll put it on there in a second. It's just kind of a not trying type of product, you know? I like this. I like it a lot. Thank you so much to everyone who recommended it. I think it was the video where I talked about brands I was missing out on, and I'd used just a gloss from this line at that point. I dig it. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit on my finger, and it has kind of a, can you see the light sort of catching that? There's some moisture in this. It's very easy to blend. It's not a cream to powder because, oops, what's that? Because cream to powder textures just don't work on the lips. Like you don't want to have that feeling on the lips. This is creamy enough to work on both lips and cheeks, in my opinion. But you see what I mean about the toastiness of the color? Like it really does work with this earthy green top. Toasty, a little dusty rose, but it's got some warmth that I really pick up on the cheek. This is like Live on the Edge, my stick from Maybelline, the Superstay Matte Ink Crayon. This one is like the straight A student, super organized, like got all her ducks in a row. And this is like the casual kind of like scoots into class late sometimes, messy room, doesn't quite have her life together as much. Like this is the casual friend of this because they're really in the same color family. I don't know what I'm doing here on the edge of my lips, but I like that. Like see how it makes the lips just look kind of toasty and nice. And what I did yesterday, I actually wore that and then I kind of outlined a little bit, like defined the line with some of this. So good. Such a great pair. Okay, and another thing I wanted to get in my little Sephora haul was a highlighter from LYS, because at this point I've tried a cream blush, their powder bronzer, the translucent powder, and what I hadn't yet used was a highlighter. So I got the pressed highlighter powder, and this is in the shade Aim High. This, if you really look at it closely, you see some very fine shimmer flecks in it, but it's very impactful. Whenever I'm leaving this room and I walk out the door, I got a mirror on that wall, the door's over there, and as I walk out of the room, you know, I've turned all my lights off. It's a little more dim in here, and this absolutely like glowed off my cheeks more than I thought it would. So I'm going to use my Real Techniques setting brush here, and we're going to put some on. And it's pretty. It has a little bit of a soft golden vibe, but very, very soft, more champagne-y. I think this was the lightest, brightest looking one available. So just a little dab in, really work it in. If I look up close at my skin, can I see the makeup? Yes, I can. This isn't one of those like Laura Geller French Poodle where you've literally confused yourself as to whether makeup is actually sitting on the skin. Like, no, this is visible, I feel, but it is still really pretty. Anything left on the brush, I'm kind of working it to the temples. This is glowy, gang. Very glowy, and it will look more glowy just in everyday settings, so I need to know when to stop here. But I do like it. It just doesn't necessarily give you the no makeup vibe, okay? You know who you are if you like that, if you need that. That's not that product. I'm gonna really quick do my brows. I don't have anything new there. The newest thing is probably this Thick It Stick It from NYX. You saw me use that in the Target video. I'm just gonna use my Revlon Color Stay Brow Creator for right now. This is a nice like kind of skinny pencil, and then it has a powder. Did you know that? And then it has a brush on the other end. Nice little product. I'm just gonna fill in with that, and then I'll set it with the NYX. Trimmed my brows over the weekend, yay! I tell you, the variety of things I get done while the kids are at mom and dad's, they had them over like a lot of Saturday afternoons and evenings. They go over there to play and have dinner, and you know, it's a period of a few hours where I get some peace and some alone time, and you know, Bub's usually got like some woodworking things he's trying to do, and it just gives us a chance to do that. One of these days we're probably going to throw in a date night or something during that time, but I truly enjoy just some solitude to get things done. Like I meal prepped lunches, I cleaned, I trimmed my brows, I threw away my empties, just a lot of various things that feel good to do. And I guess after the week I'd had, which was more on a high stress level, it was just so nice to get to relax. We ordered in some sushi, and it was just a really pleasant evening. And I think as you get older, like, is that the thing? As you get older, do you just value your solitude a little more? Or maybe it's just the fact that the crazier that life events get, when you have calm, it's just especially soothing to you. I don't know. But I enjoy like the free time to just, you know, clean my bathrooms and wash my sheets and do those things. Like before I saw them as much more chore-like, but I don't anymore. Maybe it's because there's all these TikTokers who like just romanticize all the daily routine type stuff, and then you see it in a different light, maybe. I don't know. But I just enjoy those tasks a little more than I once did. Now I haven't gone completely crazy. I don't like putting away laundry into drawers and all that stuff. I do it, but I don't like it. But like maybe my standards for what's cool and what's fun are all out of whack right now. But like I got a new toilet brush the other day, and I was able to throw away an old toilet brush, and that whole process, just, I was really satisfied about that. No, the answer is there's nothing wrong with that. If you're feeling satisfaction and appreciation and gratitude in the little mundane moments, then I think you're doing it right. As far as life goes, we shouldn't be glazing over every little satisfying thing and just thinking, well, that wasn't a big deal, so I'm not going to care about it. You know, whatever. We need to care about it. Okay, why am I feeling like I need just a little powder right here? Kind of on the border of the blush coming up high and the under eye zone. I'm just going for this. Just needs a little. I don't know why. Brows look good though, don't they? Yeah, that filled in nicely. And the Thick It Stick It works good too. Okay, I'm gonna do a little eyeshadow primer here. This is just Milani, and then we are going to lunge into a new drugstore eyeshadow palette. Does anyone else feel like there's been fewer, I should say, eyeshadow palettes coming out? Like, I'm seeing more coverage things, I'm seeing more like individual things, but as far as eyeshadow palettes, I'm kind of getting the vibe of like, use what you have. Like, I've been going back to some old things. I used Cinnamon Roll the other day and I loved it. I've been shopping my stash a lot more and just using various eyeshadow things that aren't that new. But this thing came to me in PR, so I thought maybe we could play with it today. I've used it a couple times already. It's from LA Girl and it's called Nudie Cutie. And I do like that they did the heart hands right here, because my girls do that to me all the time and I love that. And there's a little like cactus up here. They tried to make it real cutesy. To me it looks somewhere between cutesy and kind of cheap, but it's the Young, Wild and Free eyeshadow, and you open it up and the pans are quite large. Like, look at that. Really big pans, okay? So I've done some good looks with this. The mattes are nice. They don't kick up any fallout. They really behave. Some of the shimmers have to be patted on with a finger, though. Some of these shimmers just, they need the help. Put your cap back on your primer. And there's also a more colorful one, but this is the only one I've experimented with so far. I'm going to go to that shade up there. It's a little bit mauve-y, actually. And we're just gonna pop that in the old crease. My mind keeps coming back to Dad and what he's got ahead of him today with the pacemaker. Granted, you know, he's been through so much more. There's different ways of looking at it. It's like, hasn't he been through enough already? But at the same time, it's like, I'm grateful that there's medical technology to be able to, you know, keep your heart from dipping down into too low of a rate and make sure your body gets the oxygen it needs. And I think that was part of the symptoms he was having, was from his body not getting the full benefit of blood flow, you know, like, because if your heart isn't pumping fast enough, only the vital areas of your body that need it most are going to get what they need. And like, he was feeling cold at times and lower appetite, more tired. Just everything was falling in with info I read. My medical degree that Google gave me, everyone's really impressed. But using this cream shade right here. Is this a full-on matte? It seems pretty matte. I'm going to keep deepening up the crease. I want to go to this shade here, this kind of toasty, like dusty rose. It reminds me of something that's in the Too Faced Teddy Bear palette, does it not? Some of these mattes really do. And then we have a black, and the black works well also. I feel like I just got done saying, if there's a black in a palette, the versatility is extended so much. Okay, so we got this buffed out crease. Those mats are so easy to work with. They don't give you too much, but they kind of give you just enough. And LA Girl, that's the brand that put out like some little rectangular palettes with sort of like triangular geometric shapes on the inside, and they were really pigmented and good. Part of the problem with this brand, I think, can sometimes be the accessibility. They're so drugstore seeming, but yet I've never seen the brand in an actual drugstore in person. You always have to look on Ulta. I say we go for some of the black, like just don't mess around. Get a little bit of that on here. Yeah, it's behaving about like the black that was in the Aldi palette. Full color, but not scaring me. Don't tell me I was out of focus that whole time. So now I feel like I have the perfect shade in this palette to kind of blend even more like into the crease and sort of outward. And it's this kind of plummy shade right here. See, I'm enjoying the light to dark balance in this palette. That's probably one of the best points about it. That and the fact that the mattes are just so good. But see me kind of swirling that shade there, and it's taking the black and it's helping it sort of come out from that darkness. Nice, really pretty. So then it comes to the lid area, and like I think you can probably spot what some of the culprits might be in this palette. Okay, this one ends up being like a sheer glaze. Okay, know that. Sheer kind of just like adds a little shine on top. That's fine, I'm just pointing it out. This one, and this one. They all offer 3 different kind of metallic tones, but you can only really achieve their look on the skin, the fullness of their potential, by putting them on with your finger, which sometimes makes us lack a little precision. You know, it's not like the worst thing ever. And then we have like a little more traditional soft shimmer with that shade and this one right here. Like those are the most beautiful shimmer textures. Talking about that and that one. There's a smoothness there. There's a lack of sheerness. It's more like junk 100% pigment on those. But let's see. Let's show you one of these kind of building up. Let's do this kind of rose gold right here. And now I do have that eye primer on. I can feel the slight bit of tack on the lid that's grabbing that shade and helping. But like I have to really build it and press it. See that? See, it ain't bad that we have to do this, but I'm just letting you know. What do we think of the pan size here? Like, this is a generous amount of color. You think kind of when brands go bigger with the pan size, in a way, things seem a little less generic and just like all over the place, and more like, okay, we are committing to these shades. We're giving you a lot of these shades. It's like more intentional about what was put in the palette. That's what it translates to me. Okay, I've got that rose gold patted on the center of the lid, and then I want to use this nice textured shimmer right here. It picks up really nicely on my smaller Morphe brush with a little bit of a point. And that's so good for brightening that area. See, that one's like, sure, brush, whatever you say, brush. Where you go, I will follow. You know what I told Bub randomly the other day? We need to get back to One Tree Hill. We had been so on that show, and there's so many seasons. There's like so much to watch, and we never finished it. We like stopped shortly before Bubba was born, I want to say. And we need to pick it back up, we really do. I'm going to go to this dark shade, small pointed brush, and just do a little bit of that on the lower lash line. This shade is also really good for lower lash line, that shimmer. But do I like this palette? Yes. Is it very unique? Not really. It's reminded me in a lot of ways of the Too Faced Teddy Bear palette. Like, there's just an overall tone with some of these matte neutrals that makes me think, you know, deep, dusty rose. It definitely wouldn't be a dupe palette by any means, and I'm pretty sure Teddy Bear didn't have a black. But you know what I'm saying? It just kind of can give off a similar look if you make certain shade choices. But guys, it also does have a massive mirror. The packaging is nice and solid, doesn't feel cheap, comes with a lot of shades. It definitely has some high points. The only thing that frustrates me are maybe those few shimmers where you really have to like work them on. I'm gonna do Just mascara today. I don't think I've used this one on camera yet, but I've been playing with it quite a bit. This is a newer one from Essence called Double Trouble, and it's 2 brushes in one. And it's actually really good. I like it a lot. I have been getting along better with more mascaras lately, and the main reason why is because they're holding the curl. So Double Trouble is half like traditional brush, half rubber bristle brush. Let's bring it on in. Who did UCA camp? Bring it on in, bring it on in, bring it on in. Hey! So the bottom part of what you're seeing is like more of a traditional bristle brush, like a, think L'Oreal Voluminous, and then up top it's like they said, no, we're being Lash Blast, and they've got really short rubber bristles there. And if you use the rubber bristle side, I feel like you do get more definition, and then you switch over to the other side and I feel like I get a little more length, maybe a bit more bulk at times. It's a cool idea. It's a really neat idea. And to anyone asking about my lashes and if I'm, you know, what serum I'm using, to be honest with you, I had been using Grande Lash really consistently for what seemed like months. And then I had that weird like red eye deal. Remember that? And I wasn't quite sure what caused it. I wasn't sure if I was too aggressive taking eye makeup off one day or if it was caused by something getting in my eye, like maybe the serum, but I haven't used it since. So you're just seeing the length that I basically was able to achieve with Grande Lash, and I think I might go back to it. I'm just going to be more careful about getting the bare minimum on the lash line, you know. Sometimes we're getting ready for bed and it's like, okay, real quick, swipe this stuff on. And I wonder if maybe I just got a little much. I'm thinking maybe another thing I can do is not immediately go to bed after I put that on, but like take my makeup off a little earlier, maybe not be in that instant state of swipe on this wet serum and then close my eyes and go to bed, because I still want to get good out of what I have, and it definitely worked. Right now I feel like if I can find mascaras that hold the curl, like I'm really, really happy with the way things are looking. So this is kind of a funny video. It's like face was high-end, eyes were drugstore. I haven't used this on the lower lashes yet, and I don't think today's going to be the day that I try it. Cali Ray, that mascara is another one that like holds the curl so nicely all day too. I've just been coming into more mascaras that do it. The new one from Aldi, and then the one I was also thinking about using today was this new Milani highly rated anti-gravity, and that's an interesting formula too. It's kind of dry, but it can be built, and that held the curl for me pretty well yesterday. See these lashes? We're happy with that. We're very happy with that. You just kind of keep switching the brush. There's no real rhyme or reason. I don't just always go at it one way or the other, like rubber bristles first and then the other. It's just neat. It's like you're getting the effect of 2 mascaras in one, and so many of us like that, you know. A lot of people do combine a couple of different kinds, and maybe a big reason why is not necessarily for the formula, but just for a different brush to come at your lashes, you know. So lip is kind of already done, right? I could go over it with a little bit of this Patrick Ta. This is new too, and I watched Boise Beauty, and she was talking about the new Patrick Ta plumping lip gloss. I got 2 cc's is the shade. Very sheer, okay, and it smells just like the cinnamon hearts. I love the gummy cinnamon hearts that you can get like a big tub of at Valentine's time. Smells precisely like that. It's like a hard cinnamon, okay? It's like a strong cinnamon, not like, I like cinnamon, so I'll have this snickerdoodle. That's mild cinnamon. This is strong cinnamon scent. And it's very sheer. You can't really tell the color because I'm going on top of the tower stuff here. But it doesn't like sting. So cinnamony with the scent though. I like it. I wanted it to show up more like this color. Less on the sheer side, but yet, look what I'm doing. You know, I'm preserving the shade that I had on. I liked that shade, and this could be something that I use over and over again on top of other things. Like a true lip gloss function, you know. I'm not sure what it's really doing for plumping, but it feels comfortable. I can kind of see it stringing a little bit. If you get a little on your tongue, it feels a little bit cooling. And as it sits on the lips, I am feeling some kind of sensation there. And it's kind of messing with me because you think because you smelled cinnamon, you're feeling a hot feel on the lips. But it's not. It's more of a cool feel. Who else has tried this? It's a hot scent, but a cool feel. So anyway, guys, let's take the clip out. Let's get serious. Hair is nice and clean from the shower last night, done nothing to it. We'll see how it wears, but I'm rather impressed by the look of the Patrick Ta Beauty Balm. Thought that went on really nicely. Again, with the KVD concealer, good concealer, but I don't feel like you have to abandon your full coverage drugstore favorites for it. Favorites of the video, my highest points of the video, and by the way, I have been using this Kosas foundation for like straight the past week, and I loved it. I think this is phenomenal. Like half a pump, and I love the way it looks on my skin so much. It's so natural, it's so skin-like, but it really takes you up a notch. You know, I really enjoyed that. But you saw me putting that on recently. Top 3 from the video. I should make this a habit. Like every time I do a full face like this, I should round up the top 3. These are my top 3, I think, from this video. The one size, turn up the base. Really like the look of that all over. Really love the Tower Beach Please and Power Hour. Game I never played in college. So I got that on the cheeks and the lips, and I really like that shade, and I see myself wearing a ton of that, and I think it would be beautiful going into summer. Not that we're even close right now, but I'm just saying. And then the Double Trouble mascara. My word, it's doing good things. I'm liking more mascaras these days. I did like the LYS highlighter, but it's not super unique. Like, if you want a glow, you could also get a really profound glow from different stuff from Milani. You know, it's not necessarily must-buy status. That's just my take. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you have a video request on your mind, let me know in the comments section. I really appreciate seeing those there. It gives me some new ideas. And I will talk to you guys again very soon. Love you. Bye.